Yeah.
Hello and good evening and welcome to Psychic Talk. I'm your host, Priscilla Gendron, and tonight's topic is our part 3 of our Lovers in the Air series. And tonight's topic is more about love's resonance, exploring the symbiosis of human connection between Mother Earth's energy field and everything else in between. So it is my great pleasure to welcome back my amazing co-host, Eva Hunt, the Soul Alchemist. Welcome, Eva.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Priscilla, for this third time now, inviting me back here. And I hope we have a fantastic conversation again, like we did in the previous 2 times.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to it. And joining us is another special guest, and her name is Brigitte Ree, and she's French, but she lives in the UK. Hi, Brigitte, welcome.
Hello, welcome to you as well, and hello, everybody.
So just so that people already know Eva and I, would you like to just explain to the audience and the viewers a little bit about who you are? Just a little brief introduction.
Right. Well, I live in England. I was born in France, but I live in England, in UK, in York, north of UK, and I have been talking to spirit, channeling spirit for over 40 years. Basically, originally I was a teacher, a language teacher, but I've focused on my mediumistic side. So this is an important bit. So I've been concentrating on my, developing my ability, let's call it, which is clairaudience, but it's unusually linked to automatic writing. So I call it telepathically guided automatic writing. The pen feels compelled to write, and I happen to hear what is being dictated. But funnily enough, once I receive it, it could be an hour, 2 hours of writing. I don't recall at all what is being said. I say that because people often say, oh, well, it must be your mind. No, it's not my mind, because if ever you read the 8 books which have been produced by Spirit through me, you can see the contents are sometimes so deep, there's no way I would have known this. So they have been dictating some very interesting facts to teach mankind, as they call it, truth and distortions, and where we come from, and what we are, and what this physical universe is, and so on, and how we should be able to live happily ever after instead of having wars. So this is what I do. I go around, I said briefly, I just at the moment I've been going around mind, body, spirit shows, events, fairs where you can have a stand and produce and exhibit the books. But also I get talks as well, and if people want to invite me to give talks to groups, I do that. So this is what I've been doing basically.
Yes, and Brigitte and I have known each other for a number of years. I've interviewed her before, and she's a fascinating woman with an amazing story behind her. So so let's jump into our part 3 of Lovers in the Air. And we decided to sort of take it onto the next level of what love represents with us, within the world. And it's that sort of ethereal and harmonious sort of relationship between human love and the interconnectedness of Mother Earth, because we want to just get it a little level deeper. So, Eva, would you like to start off?
Okay, I can start. Well, as you know, I am coming from the energy healer point of view, and also I'm a spiritual guide, but I work with the law of attraction. So I believe, like I think all of us do, that everything is made of energy, and we are living in Mother Earth's energy field, literally. So everything that's happening with Mother Earth is having an impact on us. And I do believe that where the love aspect is coming into this, the higher we vibrate, resonate, the better our quality of life is getting. And parallel to that, Mother Earth is also I don't like the word entity, maybe like a celestial body, and she has her own development of consciousness. And so we are interacting with each other because so many of us humans are on Earth. Poor Mother Earth, she has not just an environmental and physical impact from us, but also from our energy. So let's make just bring some numbers here, like the average vibration right now on Earth, it's about between 200 and 300 hertz, closer to 200. 200 is a very low vibration. And that, just saying, fear is 100 hertz. So what we would like to go for, to aim for, is go to love, which is 500 hertz. So I believe that when we manage to raise our vibration to embrace self-love and unconditional love, then we are getting closer to that point. And I found a very interesting fact today when I was researching some areas deeper. And I don't know whether any of you knew that if one person can achieve the love frequency, which is the 500 hertz, it can potentially have a positive impact, a change on other people, which is 70,000, 70 and 000. 70,000 people can be affected by one person achieving the love frequency. So I believe that is such an amazing amount, and it's like having a domino effect. So if one person is joyful, happy, and loving, then not just their immediate environment who is affected by them, but all the other people too. So this is how I believe the 70,000 will together. So I thought I start with this because it's a very interesting area to explore.
Very much so, because you kind of found that even if, for example, you're in that 500 megahertz and you're in that love zone or love bubble, and you're just walking down the road and you exude that energy out to others, even with it, just with a smile, or, you know, even the animals and the plants can feel that resonance as well. And it can, the more you spread it, the more impactful it becomes. As you say, it's that, you know, from 1 to 70,000, it's just the tip of the iceberg in a sense. So I feel like, especially in today's world and in today's society, love is needed, because we've been sitting in fear and anger and frustration for so long over the last, not even 5 years, but even before that. You know, we've had the slow decline away from love, and it's, the universe is saying it's like all or nothing now. So we have to accept and step into love. Otherwise, you know, the universe is in for a very crazy time. Brigitte, what would you like to comment on in that aspect?
Well, it's very, it's more impressive what you've been saying, you know, Eva and yourself, Priscilla. Yes, I absolutely agree. Exactly. So that's because, as Eva said earlier, we are, and yourself, we are all vibrations. We've got to forget that trash body. What my teachers, I'm talking about advanced teachers, explain, and I don't know whether you all agree or have understood that, but they said the solidity of that we see around, it's fake, it's an illusion. I mean, even the Eastern people, you know, like Thailand and all that, I remember them saying, oh, it's Maya, it's illusion. But we are stuck in this world where we feel anything solid. But the truth is, as you said, it's all vibration, everything's vibrating. And it's very, they are all very interconnected. So this is why, as I said, if we smile at somebody or send our positive thoughts across the room or across the street, we definitely do some good and affect all the other energies around. In fact, you know, if we kept doing that, we would just go around the world. That beam to be sent will go around the world and affect everything else everywhere. So yeah, and what we have at the moment, as you know, we all the people who care and who love and try to do what you mentioned there. We are faced with the opposite, where you have so many people, sadly, full of greed and hatred and imposing fear in people for their own means. So there's all these negative things coming at us. But what my teacher used to say, or stay now, is that just think of a cave, which is dark, and you walk in there with a little candle, and the darkness starts dissipating. And if you have many more candles, the cave is not dark anymore. So that's what we need to do with our positive thinking and people who talk like us and your friends and similar groups or podcasts is really remind everybody every day we need to take some time, make time to send that energy, because each person think, oh, it's only little me and this world, and I won't be good enough. If we all do it, I mean, even as the one person, but certainly in groups, it will work. Because as you said, you put one drop of white paint in a bucket of black paint, the black paint is going to be changing already a little, all right? So yes, I agree with that. And I could mention this, what I was trying to say earlier. When I said to my teachers, right, I've got this discussion with Priscilla, talking about the love. So my teacher said, well, okay, but what does that word mean or represent to you? They say it's simply a way of summarizing what comes out of all existences, all beings, and different levels, and so on. And to exist in a perfectly balanced way is to follow the only rule of or the law, if you like, of the universe. And it boils down to something very simple that you will have heard before: do not harm any other being. That means people and animals, and of course plants, because included with that. But do not willfully harm any other beings. In a way, it's selfish, because if you harm any other beings, you're going to live in fear that they might want to harm you back. So in other words, it's a self-protecting rule. But this is the truth. If we do that, then we feel at peace. If the others do that, we can get on with our life on Earth, and they can get on with their life on Earth. And just say quickly as well, they said when you mention love, we all talk about these various pieces of aspect of love. They said, well, we would say, we would say it implies compassion, feeling compassion, admiration, respect, and empathy, which is sensing other people's emotions and put yourself in their place. So feeling all that for all the other representation of the fundamental source, the source, which is, well, it depends what you want to call it, God, or when you want to really understand it's very gigantic, eternal, intelligent, creative thinking force. But that's what I say. So they said you could call love CARE, compassion, admiration, respect, and empathy, and it applies to everything. So this is, as you just both said, we can send that with our thoughts and spread it across the world. And it does make a difference in small areas, in our own family, in our street. And if we keep doing it, do what we can to help others as well in various ways, with that at the back of our mind. Teach kids, teach youngsters, talk about it with people, create groups to make them think, just a minute, it's possible to be like that if we just make the effort instead of being selfish. Have I talked too much?
No, Bridget, I would like to add something to it, if I may.
Yes.
What you are saying is absolutely needed. And I come across, because I work with so many people, so many of them who are not believing that we have an impact on how the earth is going to be, how our life is going to be. And I want to bring in an aspect here. I don't know whether you've heard of the Heart Math Institute. This is a science-based institute which is now proving spiritual truth as well, which is so amazing, because we know it exists, but some people need the proof. And let's start from logic. So just an example, when 9/11 happened in 2001, the Heart Math Institute already had different machines measuring the Earth's resonance, because the Earth has her own pulse, her own heartbeat. And when that terrorist attack happened, then everything, like these machines, went off scale. So the scientists didn't understand what happened. And then after the event, they started to analyze this, and they realized that the fear, the emotion, the feeling of the entire, well, not the entire earth, but whoever heard and was involved emotionally in what happened, affected the Earth's electromagnetic field. And I bring this example because we can use it the other way. It was a horrible event which affected in a very bad way the Earth's resonance and everyone else. But if we are aligning ourselves with our highest possible frequency, like coming off from our mind and connecting with our heart, and feeling that compassion that Bridget mentioned, and the love and the kindness in our heart, and just spend like 5 minutes in meditation, it partially brings a beautiful coherence between the mind and the heart. And also we are sending out positive signals, which the earth then pick up on and will kind of spread around. It's not exactly how it works. It's just a very simplified version. And I think this is where our responsibility lies. And this is why it's important to teach it to kids as well. We may seem like a tiny, tiny dot in the universe, but we have amazing power because we are energy. And when it adds up, it creates amazing changes. So I just wanted to add to that, Bridget, because I think it's exactly what needs to happen. But people need to understand, how do I impact the world? How do I send out love? How do I send out compassion? It's very simple. Just stay within and connect with your own heart. That's all really what we need to do, isn't it?
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. It's true. But I mean, even if we just go back a number of years when we had the start of the pandemic and we were effectively in lockdown, and everybody was locked away and we didn't have access to the outside world, it had a huge impact on people, on their energy, on their connectedness. But in one aspect, it had a little bit of a detrimental effect. But on another aspect, globally and universally, it had a positive impact because it allowed the earth to heal. You know, for the first time in some cities, they could see the mountains from the smog because there was no pollution. You know, plants were growing, animals were starting to come into the streets and the cities, wild animals and things like that. This interconnectedness with the earth and the humans and the healing that had to happen. So it had a double effect. So sometimes we think, yes, it was a very traumatic thing that happened globally to us, but in another aspect, it allowed the earth to heal and recover. And what I think it also did for people is it brought people back together again because they had to find ingenious ways to communicate, to love, to put out that resonance to the world. Even within my own place where I lived, our neighborhood, we used to have, you know, people on our chat group saying, oh, I'm doing this and I'm making a run to the shop. Who needs something? Whereas, you know, 6 months before that, no, people would have driven over you and hooted at you to get out of the way. Now they were saying, I'm going to the shop. Do you need anything? If you can't get out or you're not well, let us know and we'll come and drop some food for you. Yeah, just a small little thing like that. So that whole community and that whole connectedness, not just within human beings, but also with the earth and helping animals and the plants and allowing the plants and animals to heal. And that also then increases the connectedness that we all have.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the basic, oh, sorry, I can't see anybody now, I just see myself. Can I pop in there? Just say I agree. When we were cut off, I just realized how much, you know, human beings do need to interconnect and contact each other. I used to think, well, I'm quite happy on my own, you know, to focus on what I'm doing at home. But with all these weeks of lockdown and all that, and I suddenly realized I quite enjoy talking, say hello to somebody when we were allowed to say hello to the neighbors. And it just shows that, you know, how people, as soon as they were allowed to get out, just wanted to meet. And even if it's in the park, just to have this human warmth, if you like. It's quite normal because we're, after all, we are one huge, gigantic bubble of imagine like a soap bubble, you know, if you blow a soap bubble, and it can be a lot of tiny little bubbles within it, you know, all linked up as one big bubble. So we are a big bubble of energy all over the world, and that includes Mother Earth. That includes all nature, you know, nature, the trees, the animals, the seas, and so on. So we are in an amazing, absolutely fantastically mind-boggling creation of energy vortexes, which are represented in various manifestation, you know, human shapes and animal shapes and tree shapes and mountain shapes and so on. But it boils down to the same kind of fantastic power, energy, which exists and which is eternal. So it's normal to want to be with each other, and really at heart we are really kind existences, kind beings. It's just that it's been spoiled, at least with for some, by you know, I think they just give too much interest and too much focus on physical senses. So they gradually forget that they are, you know, beings of energy, spirit beings, whatever you want to call them. And because they got a body, they start, oh yeah, we got to eat more, spend our life eating, or all the other senses we have, you know, and sex and things like that. And to exaggerating and then even ignoring the fact that you should not and you must not harm others, and doing it they ignore the rule we've mentioned before, do not harm anybody else, people or animal. Well, when they focus on the physical senses, wrongly, without forgetting that you should be kind, it becomes nasty. You see what I mean? Especially when they focus on material goods and greed takes over. As I said, money is one of the worst things in the world, because those who are focused on that cause a lot of harm with it instead of causing a lot of good. So yes, I better shut up and let you get on. But I quite agree with what you said, Priscilla and Eva.
Bridget, there is so much I could connect to here, but connecting to both of you with the pandemic and also maybe the trees and the animals here. During the pandemic, also people realized how important it is to go out to nature, because trees and plants, they do have energy. And I would say there is love kind of energy as well in nature. And if we receive that, we already can ground and we already can connect better, which is a very good takeaway, one of the takeaways from the pandemic. And also, I do have a dog, and I know many dog lovers. And I do believe that dogs absolutely have unconditional love. They are like angels without the wings. And I know so many people who don't like animals, but animals are sentient beings. And I think that's something for humans to really accept, that we need to respect not just Mother Earth, but every creation, as you say, Bridget, because what is in there, that energy, we cannot just destroy. We can't just get big-headed because we are humans and we are thinking. My dog is so amazing. She is like an empath. If she was a human, she would be an empath. When I used to have clients in person, and they sometimes cried, and sometimes a little girl came with her mother, and the girl wasn't very well. She went and licked them just to calm them and give them some love. And no one teaches this dog to do that, or any of the dogs. And we could learn so much from animals, and not just dogs, all of them. And I think that's part of this amazing conversation, to realize how many ways we can connect with that love, right?
Absolutely agree.
Absolutely.
If it helps you, sorry, just one sentence. If it helps you, Eva, I'll just tell you that I'm vegetarian vegan, so I'm all for animals, and I absolutely agree. and they do. I mean, like we can. I just say that, Priscilla. I mean, you say that they can read our mind, yes, and telepathy among each other. They send telepathic thought. They talk to each other, you know, with telepathy, mind to mind, the same as we can talk to higher levels of spirit like that. So they understand and they feel. So I quite agree with what you said about dogs and cats as well, and animals, especially pets.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, and animals definitely do have a wonderful interconnectedness within each other as well. And I noticed that if I'm ill, my cat and my dog will be sleeping on top of me to try and heal me, and I could feel the vibration and the purring, and they'll literally come to the area where I'm not well, and sit there, and I can feel that vibration. So they definitely are very sensitive to that. And you've seen a lot of history of dogs that will go and poke at a person's part of their body, and then that person will go and have a test in the doctors and find out they've got cancer or something like that. So there's all this interconnectedness, this love, this connection that joins us all, the energy of the world. So we are all connected, from the plants, because sometimes the plants we consume, even to the water we consume. You know, the Japanese photographer, he was a researcher, Masaru Emoto, I think his name is, Masaru Emoto. And he did the study of the water crystals and the molecules of how the water changed, and you gave it something positive, you gave it something negative into the water. And I know even when I'm doing my healing and I tell my clients to drink water afterwards, I'll tell them to put their symbols, you know, into the water to change the energy. Exactly.
I just printed this out. Great minds think alike. This picture, this is the water crystal. It is love and gratitude. And when you say you disgust me, this pattern you are getting, it's quite different, isn't it?
That's amazing how, you know, and you see, we are interconnected. So it's the universe is an amazing place. And if you just join the dots and you have this interconnectedness, and it's a higher power, a higher energy, and it's a lot more pure and a lot more successful than if you do it with the, as Brigitte was saying, with the anger and greed and you know, things like that. That's a much darker energy. Whereas if you shine the light, the love, so many more things are possible. You know, health, wellness, well-being, connectedness with the universe, that helps people in so many different ways, far more than if we, you know, fight and things like that.
Can I just nip in technically, Priscilla? I cannot, sorry to interrupt you a second. I cannot see either of you there. Is it possible to have a screen at all or not? I just see myself. It seems to have frozen.
I think it's
That's
your
fine.
own setting. We are still here.
Yeah, I'm here. Yes, I'm looking at the black screen.
All still here. We're all still interconnected.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we're all still here. We're all still interconnected. So
yeah.
Again, the universe, you know, sometimes the universe doesn't always work the way you want it to work, especially technology sometimes can be quite frustrating.
Okay, that's fine. I thought I'd done something wrong. That's fine. I can unhear you anyway. That's fine. Yes, absolutely agree with what you're saying. It's absolutely vital that people understand that. It's you know the Pythagoras, this famous Greek who said, "Man, know thyself." Well, it's exact man and woman know thyself. I mean, it's as important. It's if people could learn, get to understand that they are more than just this body of flesh, that they're beings of energy. Call it spirit, call it energy, whatever you want to call it. It's, you know, it's this energy. We are being of thinking energy. We are being of creative thinking energy. This is the important bit, because our thoughts, as you know, our thoughts create. The moment we think something, it beams out really. If you think of something with, you know, strongly, it beams out of us and gets itself ready to materialize itself. This is why people who are quite negative in their life will find themselves surrounded by problems all the time and have health problems. because it reflects on their body, their negative attitude, and reflects on their body, because the body is matter, like the rest of the world is. And our electromagnetic thoughts are just making it happen. So most people don't understand that. You and I do, of course, but humans, most humans
Bridget,
don't know.
sorry, may I just squeeze in there something? It is
Yeah.
absolutely true that thoughts are creative thoughts can change our reality, but the feeling is how everything starts. So now researchers, scientists can prove that what we feel, and this is especially true for psychic senses, like you are channeling, Priscilla and I are also channeling in different ways. So we receive the information into our hearts as a feeling, and then it travels back up to our brain. And at our brain, in our brain, we've got crossroads, because the mind has different levels, one connected to our mortal self and one connected to our soul. So there's like a choice, which is, I believe, really very important, because it is the choosing whether I go down the fear path and have thoughts of negativity, or the soul path, which is the thoughts of creative power. And so I just wanted to add, when people want to create or change how to have their reality, it starts with the feeling. And if that feeling is based on fear, they are not going down the right way. So it's very important to train ourselves to feel something different to fear, the opposite of fear, whatever we feel that is. Do you see? I think it's a very important thing to take into account.
Oh, yeah, yes, absolutely. It's your feelings, your attitude. Well, attitude, emotions, feelings all go together, don't they? Yeah, and fear. This is what. This is why those who want to manipulate the world, or manipulate population for their own good. Oh, there you reappeared again. I can see you now. And those who want to manipulate the world, they put fear. They instill fear into people. We will have seen that for the past few years. Okay, we know that it's drip feed. Oh, you could be ill. Oh, this could happen. Oh, that could happen. And people who are weak enough to believe it, let's say, without insulting anybody, they become ill because just the fear. A lot of people have died the past few years, and it was really not so much of a flu or something or other. It's because they were filled with fear. And then there's also the fear of being ill, fear of not being able to see the family, like happened with the COVID thing. They could not go and see their family in the nursing home, which is horrible things and things like that. But there's also the fear caused by when you had this kind of so-called dangerous situation with a health thing, because we were told everybody was ill. The fear, oh, well, so when I die, I'll go into the big hole. They don't know anything about another world and another side to human and physical world. So they don't realize we are spirit, we are beings of energy. We still survive because energy can never be destroyed. We learned that at school. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can be changed, but it doesn't get destroyed. So as a being of energy, as we know, well, the body dies because it's ill or whatever, but the personality, which is, it carries on. The emotions and the thinking and all that, which is what makes us, carries on. This is what the belief and understanding of survival is very important. We do survive after the physical death, because then when people understand that, then it reduced at least one batch of fears. Fear of the unknown becomes a bit more known now. So this is something else that's important, to help people. It's what I do when I go around giving talks and so on. A lot of people want to know, what happened to their family, when they're grieving because they lost someone. And some of them said to me, what's the afterlife? Some of them had no idea that we do survive. So all these little bits and pieces put together, it's a fantastic topic, isn't it, Eva?
Yeah, Bridget, it is. And the way we survive is because we are made of energy, and our electrons are collecting our experiences and translating it into energy. So although the body is going to die because, of course, it's mortal, but the energy is moving to beyond the veil, going back to source. and that's how the afterlife is possible. So we are talking the same about the same thing, just maybe with different words, but yeah, exactly. That gives people hope. Just to get there, it's sometimes a problem of people want proof of everything, and that's I find so frustrating. Like we have to have belief and trust in the universe, because if you don't have that, I know we all do, but other people may not. If doubt is there instead of trust and belief, then this whole thing is just falling apart. So we have to connect with our hearts, with our own hearts, and find that amazing connection within ourselves in order to understand the universe. I absolutely believe that. Do you?
Mm. Oh yeah. Oh yes, absolutely agree. Yeah. I just think you're a very interesting lady. Yes, it's so much you can say at the same time. to think. Yes, exactly that. But I mean, even just people. This is so slightly off topic, and yet with it, in a way, we talked about survival and so on. It's there've been so many millions of people who've had out-of-body experiences, either near-death experience or simply out-of-body, and it's been well, as you know, it will have been well categorized and well studied and so on. And so for those, I'm talking about people who do not believe or haven't understood that we are more than just a flesh body. The fact of having to find yourself as in an out-of-body experience, out of the flesh, it still exists. You are there. You're feeling your heart, emotional heart, and all that, and your mind is still there. And you're floating on the ceiling, or you go across the town, and yet the flesh body is still in bed. I don't know whether you've had this experience, but maybe you have. So this is something which we could show to people who haven't, who don't believe. Say, well, how do you explain that? It's not, oh, well, it's your mind makes you think that, because you actually feel things. And I'm just reading lately something to do with scientists who've done some remote viewing. Who've been trained, scientists who've been trained into remote viewing into see, and this particular gentleman, well known, Lynn Buchanan, I think is American, and he was saying, oh, I'm sure I don't know what an out-of-body experience is. He wasn't sure. And then one day he was relaxing and so on, and he found himself having a thing. He was relaxing, okay, meditating, and then he thought his face was itching, so he tried to scratch it, or normal reaction. And then suddenly he realized that his hand, or what he thought was his hand, was a bit like a light, like a light glove, a glove of light, sparking thing. And he thought, what's going on? And he looked down and he could see his body, his flesh body on the bed, relaxing. And he was above, trying to scratch his body of light with a body of a hand made of light. I say light to make it easier. And if you think of energy as light, it's usually easier to visualize it. So, there was this scientific guy saying, he said himself, suddenly it dawned on me, he was 40, 50 years old, he said, it dawned on me that what we are taught as survival and so on, well, it exists. We are not the flesh body. The me is the me floating on the ceiling, not the me lying on the bed. So anyway, that's just thought in passing.
Yeah, and it's
over now.
Taking it on from there. As children, we are programmed and we are pushed into a certain box or way of thinking. And so when it comes to an experience like that, it blows the mind, and people can't understand it is because they've been conditioned for 20, 30, 40, 50 years to only see the blinkers on. And I feel that there's so many people now that are removing the blinkers, that are seeing things, because of the fifth dimension and things becoming a lot more in your face and a lot more there, that they can't explain. It's on a much deeper level, and it's allowing us to now embrace it in a much more loving way, instead of it just being, this is the dogma that you have to learn. You can't step outside of the box. Now people are just burning their box and seeing things, connecting with the world and the universe and the plants and the animals and energy. and being able to send this energy out into the world. And this is where we are at the moment. So it's about keeping that momentum going.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, off you go.
No, you go, Bridget. I can wait.
No, I was agreeing, and you know, and this is something which we can all do individually. It's even better when you're in groups, because you know, if we are all, you know, 10, 20 or whatever, 100 people as you are together, you know, all these energies have got even more power, you know, of course. But it's something that we can all do, as I was saying earlier. So as Priscilla said, we should send energy, send love, send caring, compassion, and all, and admiration and respect to the world, to an area which is, you know, having great problem like war, and so on. But also, fortunately, the earth has been so damaged and polluted by humans and by industries and by selfishness and no vision. Some of the people who create all that. I mean, you have all these, oh gosh, pollution of the sea, as you know, pollution of the air, as we know, even the electromagnetic, you know, radiation in space, in cosmos. It's damaging the Mother Earth and damaging the energy grid, you know, this ley line and all the grid which actually keep the Earth spinning and so on. And it's a very meticulous calculation to make it, you know, spin that way. And the moment it's radiations and all these electromagnetic things are, I mean, you got thousands and thousands of satellites in the space. It affects, and my teacher said, it affects the Earth. And all the beings beyond are working hard at trying to use the power of their mind to do what we should be doing down here, try to sending love and sending energy to keep things working normally. Otherwise, we're going to have problems. So it's all linked up, yeah.
Yes, what I wanted to add, and now it connects to both of you, is Priscilla started off with having the psychic abilities and people not allowing us to have them because we are weird and stand out and we are looked at in a certain way in their view. But I think it's respect that we need to learn, or people need to learn, respecting what we don't know. And just knowing that we can't know everything. So if something is different, it doesn't necessarily is negative. Just unfortunately, this dark side, the shadow side, is what is so easy to give into, and so many people find it like that must be true because so many people think the same thing, and that's not the right way to think. So I think there are so many things that need to be revolutionized in the way humans are behaving, because there are so much judgment. And I think judgment is a very negative vibration. So if we can change judgment into curiosity and start to look into things for what they truly are. So having psychic abilities, for example, everyone has them. The question is how developed it is. And some people, like Priscilla, knows it from childhood that they have some special gifts, and I didn't know it until I was well into my adulthood, and I still then needed some proof that I can do the channeling because my mind wasn't wired that way, and I wasn't brought up in this open accepting environment. And so it's a personal journey to work through lots of things, but I think what needs to be changed on a global level is not judging, just being curious, because everyone is weird. Everyone has a different set of energy. Maybe we find people weird who think they are completely normal, but what is normal? Who is normal? So I think everything needs to be a bit reshaped and formed in our society. And I think the media has lots of damage as well. I agree with so many things you said, Bridget, like how our electromagnetic field and the earth and everything is being affected by poisonous radiation and so much pollution. But I think our mind is polluted by the media. So some people just constantly listening to what the news is saying, what politicians are saying. And I don't really want to go into this area because it's a big black hole, and I don't want us to fall into that one. But the first step is to control what we listen to, what we actually have as part of our life. And if we can maybe create a little bit of time for meditating, which very, very few people do, that's when we connect into love and light. That's our charger, like a mobile phone needs charging. We need charging. And people don't understand that when they do meditate, even if 20 minutes a day, they will be charged up in so many ways, physically as well, and their mind, and everything is just becoming so much easier. So I think we do need a big revolution, which is already happening in the earth, on the earth. Just more and more people need to wake up and realize who we are and why we are here.
Exactly.
Right? As I said, yourself. Yeah. Well, you said meditating, and especially meditating in nature as well, or even just walking in nature, or as much as we can, nature, because the pure energy of anything which makes nature, animals, plants, water, all that sort of thing, is absolutely fantastic. And actually, we come from the soil, because we eat plants. Especially when you're vegetarian, you eat plants, and that's what the plants were put on there for, because they are linked to the Mother Earth, get all the goodness and nutrients and vitamin, minerals, and other thing, if the soil hasn't been ruined by humans who put chemicals in it. So pure earth, pure soil, feed the plants, and then weed the plants, and just recharge our body physically. And of course, the moment our body feels good, we'll feel good ourselves. But as you say, also we need to think positively, nicely, kindly, but definitely meditation, just every day, just to recharge ourselves. This is why imagination, visualization helps. Visualize yourself for 5 minutes, rebalance, like a big light over yourself, from head to toe, or like a big shower of energy. Call it what you like. It could be a color. I mean, you'll know all that, but often people don't know if anybody else is listening. And imagine all this lovely light, or this lovely color. I love the blue sky, summer sky, and then visualize that as a beautiful wash inside me and inside out, and say to myself, my body is balanced now. I am balanced. I'm feeling okay. And the more we do it, the more we feel it. And also, can I just put that in there, please, Priscilla? Use that mind power, this visualization, not only to rebalance ourselves, but to recharge our own energy field. And then with our thought, we can send it out, of course, and create a big bubble of ourselves, big protection, like a big cape or a big glass bubble, whatever, which is not breakable. And if you believe that before you go out, especially in the times when you were all the days when we had a lot of negative things in the street and all that, if you believe that you are protecting yourself, you will be. Because if you think of anything, you talked about thoughts earlier, Eva. If you think of something with strong intention, intensity, you believe in something strongly, it will make it happen. So you believe you're protected because you want it for the good. You want to be healthy, you want to be protected. So a big bubble over yourself, you go out, and you're not going to catch any disease, and you're not going to have any problem. You're emanating and beaming out positive energy. And then, as we know, thoughts are electromagnetic, so you attract positive energy. And therefore meet nice people like you and Priscilla and others. We meet other people on the same wavelength. This is what you say. We say, oh, like-minded people. They are on the same wavelength, on the same energy length. So we keep doing that, and hopefully they do it as well. But it's important to use our mind to protect ourselves, rebalance the body, but rebalance the emotions as well. Because if we don't feel balanced emotionally, then it will reflect on the body. That's guaranteed. And disease come from that. We are ill at ease. So it's important to say to yourself, well, I don't want to be full of fear. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be whatever at the moment we're feeling. And then project that inside and out, and have that bubble over yourself before you go out.
Yes. Yes, and you know that that's amazing. You what you just talked about, and there are talking about Mother Earth and nature and all of these gorgeous energies. There are certain areas where it's so much more concentrated energetically than others. And as we humans have energy centers, chakras, the Earth, Mother Earth has them as well. And for example, well, two of us live in the UK. Glastonbury is the heart chakra of the earth. Glastonbury is famous for the music festival, but I don't think many people heard that that is the heart chakra of the earth. And the beautiful ancient buildings and monuments are connected through the ley lines, as you mentioned earlier about them, which is electromagnetic lines connecting different areas of the earth. And so I believe that if you can go somewhere where it has a stronger energy of the earth, it's just so beautiful to charge up there and meditate there. And that's another way of feeling the earth's energies. And I wanted just to say that it's so interesting. I keep meeting people living in the UK and coming from different countries. And I do believe that the UK is my adopted country, my spiritual country, because when I came over here, it's a completely different way of living. And also knowing that Glastonbury is the heart chakra of the earth, I feel it's like a melting pot. People are coming here for a reason. We are attracted here. And it's just so beautiful to know the two of you and so many others. Most of my friends actually are from all over the world, and not very few of them are native English. So it's just a fascinating fact.
Yeah, I found the same thing.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Priscilla.
Yeah, I found the same thing when I went to the UK as well. I mean, I had always been spiritual, I'd always been psychic, but it was only when I really reached the UK that the floodgates opened and I couldn't put the genie back in the bottle. So there was this huge connectedness to the UK for the exploration of my gifts. And I think that it was so important for us to all know that there's so many places in the world. And even like here in South Africa, we've got the cradle of mankind. And that is where our lives are intertwined with the lives of those we love. And it's called the cradle of mankind, and it's up in the north of South Africa. And it's been declared a World Heritage Site. And that is where they're saying that it's the earliest ancestors of modern humans were born there. And so it kind of almost feels like there is this interconnectedness with the world. So if we find different places and different areas in the world, and we look at the connectedness with it all. We were just talking about, because we've been having a lot of issues, especially in Durban, where we are about having floods and things being flushed out. And we were looking at the ley lines of the world. And we have a ley line that runs right through Durban. And if you take it and you go through Africa, it goes to the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. Yes. And it's just one of the strongest ley lines. And so we were saying, oh, well, we're at the end. We're at the end where we have to let it go and out into the ocean to cleanse it, in a sense. So that whole ley line, that energy that was blocked, because of issues within Africa and the world and things like that, and the Middle East, everything was flushing out. And so Durban ended up being the place where it all had to finish and end out, kind of thing. So it helps us all to be so much more interconnected.
Oh yes, those ley lines are fantastic. When people realize, I mean, the ancient days, as you know, the ancient people who were more aware of energy, more aware of what they could do and their gifts and so on, and they were closer to Mother Nature. They were aware. This is why the ley lines have got these buildings or towers or churches or whatever were built, because as Eva was saying, they have crossroads, and this crossroad or crossing of ley lines where like central station of a PowerPoint, and it's where the power is even more, more intense. So the ancient people knew how to go there and recharge them, heal themselves, recharge their own energy field, and so on. And this is why, as you said, the pyramids are more than, I'm sure, I believe that they're not just what you said, oh, they were tombs of pharaohs. No, no, no. I'm sure they were they were power station, probably brought on Earth by the extraterrestrial or something. I mean, there's far more to it than that. I mean, just mentioning Glastonbury made me think of Stonehenge. You've probably seen programs on that, as everybody knows, there's fantastic stones and circles. And I just seen again a program where they were a musician went there and made some sounds in it. I don't know if you've seen that. And it said definitely they showed that one of the use of Stone Age when it was built was to create sounds. I think like drumming, like you have shamanic drumming and this kind of drummings. And certain places according to where the sound was. Let's imagine drumming where they were doing it, nearer the stone or further, the center of the circle or further. There was a certain point where the sound was absolutely fabulous, and it was really affecting, in a nice way, affecting the humans in listening to it or hearing it. So they must have been using that for healing, themselves, as well as recharging their own batteries and emotionally, mentally, and so on. Just for sound, maybe they'd be using Stonehenge for other use, but certainly definitely sound, because I haven't gone into the technical things like Eva has been doing, but I know that the technical side of the musician talking about that, I said definitely talk about hertz and so on. Wow, it was absolutely obvious that they would have used that in the ancient days for sound as a therapy, and possibly also things like the more the more the sound is intense, the more they could move stones and lift things with it, using sound as a lever. I mean, it's been shown that you can move that, I think this is magic when you can show that you can, with sound, you can make things move. So it is study of that elsewhere. So it's all linked up. Wonderful ley lines.
Absolutely. And as you say, sound healing is part of energy healing, but there are so many things, like you mentioned the plants. So when you use herbs, that can heal your body. And then you can use crystals, the crystal energy, which is coming from the earth, from Mother Earth, is also part of energy healing, and so many other modalities. So people can actually pick and choose what they resonate with, what they like to work with. Like you can go out to nature to ground yourself, but if you have a piece of black tourmaline, which I am holding here, you can hold on to it, and that also will ground your energy. So it's such an amazing subject, and we could talk about it for weeks, I guess. But I wanted to get to one more point, because Priscilla, you mentioned how much the universe is working with us, and spirit is always bringing together and bringing to the point which we are talking about. Before we started this discussion, I had a little chat with Spirit, and I was guided towards the Power Angel Animal card deck. And I got a card which is called Crow, and it says magic on it. So it's connected to today's subject. And what it says at the back is, associated with life's mysteries, if the crow has chosen you, she will support you in developing your power of sight, transformation, and connection with life's magic. A sign of luck, but also associated with the trickster. Let the crow make you aware of deceiving appearances. And I thought it's so beautiful, because magic is what we need to find in our life. And magic can be the psychic abilities, or just discovering that we are energy and we can affect our own life and people's around us. And this deceiving appearances is exactly what we are talking about, like noticing when it's fear talking, not the love talking. And also the crow reminds me of a crone, like the maiden, mother, crone trifecta, that wisdom, that inner wisdom we all have and we can reach and we connect to. That's what must help us to change things for the better. And I thought it was such an amazing message. So just wanted to connect to that part of the talk, Priscilla, when you were about spirit.
And as we were also having discussions and stuff like that, I've, because we've been doing this Love is in the Air, I've been using this amazing deck of cards called Earth Magic. And it's been giving us so much amazing messages from spirit kind of thing. And the one we've got for today is fire and passion. And I think that is so important that, we have this fire, this connectedness within the universe and within us. And everything has got to be guided by our passion. Everything we do we do it with a purpose and a passion. Yeah, and I feel like that is just so important that we keep going with that kind of thing. We keep on driving with our passion and changing who we are as human beings. That's so important.
Intensity of intention is, I would say, passion.
Yes.
Your intention is very strong, and you're very, very intense. Becomes passion, and then when it's for the good, then there should be no limit.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so important that we have that intensity, that passion to drive us forward in our lives, because only we can change how we think and feel. I was just saying this to a client. I said, only you think your thoughts and only you feel your feelings. Nobody thinks and feels them for you. So you have the capacity to change your thought pattern, change who you are as a human being, how you see the world, how you feel in the world, how you interconnect with the world. You can do that. Nobody else can do it for you. Only you've got the capacity to make the changes yourself.
Yeah, amen to that. That's exactly it.
Okay, so just in terms of like wrapping up our conversation, because we will be talking until tomorrow morning if we carried on our conversation. We'd have plenty to say to each other. So I want to just give it over to Brigitte. What would you like to say just in closing on this subject? What would you like the universe to aspire to?
What would I like to do? What? Sorry, I missed that.
What would you like? What would you like the world to aspire to? So what kind of message of hope or inspiration can you give the universe to move forward in love?
Well, that's what my teacher is saying, is that it's vital that we all love, and if you can consider it, call it what they were saying, like to be compassionate, to admire, respect what is around you, other beings and Mother Earth and what Mother Earth will provide, and show empathy, to put yourself in the place of whatever it is. Because if you start and try to understand the other side, whether it's an animal, or whether it's a plant, or whether it's other beings, then you can, as you said before, people who don't understand usually fight it, or ignorance is not knowing something and not understanding something. The moment you start understanding or put yourself in the place of other people or other beings, other animals and whatever, then you're just already one step forward. So the thing is, watch your thoughts and watch your attitudes and emotions, because our thoughts are very powerful. Get that in your head, people, and they come out of you. They are energy beings, and if you use them wrongly, in the sense of if they are not positive, you're going to burn yourself basically, because it will affect you. It's a bit like a laser beam. So send your thoughts in a positive way. Try to keep it, not to be aggressive, because otherwise, willful and nasty thoughts will harm others, but eventually they will bounce back to you, because you are poisoning the very energy grid, the network, the circuit of light that we are all part of. So which is why we're hurting ourselves in the end. And then for those who believe or understand or discover about afterlife, the fact that we survive in another world, from an understanding of communication with those who passed over, is that in the end, if we are so selfish down here on Earth and harm others selfishly, you do harm. Oh, don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I want this, I want that, it's for greed or for pleasure. Once your body dies, you will survive. There's no but about it. It's been proved. And then you take yourself, you take your emotions and your way of thinking, and you will sooner or later you'll be looking back at this earthly life you'd had. And there will be nobody judging you. It will be nobody else judging you. You will be looking at your own actions on earth, not in a judgmental way, but just say, well, oh yeah, okay, so I'm a being of energy and I've been a human for so many years. What have I learned? What have I done there? What have I achieved? Have I improved anything there? And when you realize if you have done some very evil actions, you will suddenly kick yourself because you will gradually open your mind to the fact that you're an energy being, a being of caring, because really all energy beings, all spirit, you want to call them, are caring at heart. So you will have become nasty when you are on earth because you got yourself entrapped into the pleasures and all that of the material world and the material goods and the earthly physical senses and so on. But once you're up there, you realize that you just act against the law, the rule of do not harm others, do not harm any others, because everybody had agreed that before coming to earth, I will not harm other beings, so I can get on with my own life and they do what they want. So you went against that and you realize you've done it wrong. So you are the one judging yourself, and then you will feel bad. So if you committed some dreadful, evil, absolutely enormous deeds of harm, you will feel tremendous remorse, tremendous regret. This is stupid me. I shouldn't have remembered. And that will churn you. And this is what people call hell, or churches call hell. You will churn yourself, saying, "Oh God, I shouldn't have done that. Why have I done that? I mean, a horrible thing that I could have been a normal being." See what I mean? So in the end, you punish yourself, and you will be judging yourself. Nobody will be judging, and you will not need to go to hell or go to heaven, that I should say. Excuse me, because the hellish position of remorse will be within you. So you may as well just get to know yourself now. Look, as Eva is saying, find out, learn more, discover what the earth is about, discover that we are all energy beings, like we've been talking about, discover how all the energies are linked. Find out, because there's plenty now available, and be sure that understand that all this link is vital. All the links are all over, all around are vital. So that's it. For your own sake, behave yourself, because in the end, you regret it when you pass over. And also just be caring and admiring what's around you, respecting, because then people will be compassionate and admire you and respect you. Well, the same way. So it's important that you do that. Right. I think I've spoken too much.
Thank you, Brigitte. Eva?
Well, my message would be that we were conditioned to do things rather than be. So this masculine society, I think, pushes people to do too much. And I think we need to learn to be more receptive, which is a feminine quality. And when we are receiving information from above, listening to our intuition, when we are giving ourselves love, that's literally receiving love from the universe, that's what is going to slowly but surely change things in our world. So I think, on the top of everything that Brigitte said, this is very important to-do lists are very important, and I am doing that myself, I have to say, but learning to meditate, to be, to walk, to have fun and joy, and not just constantly focusing on, I need to do this, I need to do that, this chore, that chore, pay the bills. Yes, that's part of life, but that's not why we came here. We came here to love and to have fun and experience things on earth. And that's what people forget. And I understand there are lots of stuff going on, but if we can remember this, it will help us remember that we are souls, and then we start believing in ourselves and trust the universe, and that hopefully will change the world.
Amazing.
Sorry, a little sentence going on what Eva said. Yeah, we came on earth, as that's what my teachers say, we came on earth to experience this from as being of energy, to experience what it's like to be in the flesh thing. And they said is to to practice manipulating our energy field, manipulating the power of our thoughts. I mean, manipulating it to affect what's around us, to affect the matter, the matter of our body, and the matter of the trees, the matter of whatever is material world around us. To become aware that with our thought we can affect things. Because when you are in the spirit world on the other side, we all think. Nobody can stop thinking. And in spirit world, as we call it, people think things. Oh, I want to go out. An example. I want to go out. Whoosh, you're out. Oh, I think I'd like to see my grandmother. You know, whoosh, straight away you see it. The moment you think of something, it happens. You see, without having to move. I want to go somewhere. You don't need to move legs. You find yourself there. So they said, well, you wanted to find the fun of this Earth experiment in the material body to say, oh, right. So I'm going to, as a baby, you say, oh, I want to walk. I want to get up. I want to walk. And actually, it's your mind, telling your legs to walk. The same as we've learned to use our mind to create cars, let's say, vehicles, and then say, oh, right. So you learn to control your mind and use your mind to get coordination and control your body to learn to drive and have, this sort of thing. So it's part of it as well. It's learning to use the power of our mind.
And that makes me add another aspect of it, that we didn't just come here to manipulate our energy, to learn to manage it literally, but we also are here to choose between fear and love. And that's what we have to focus on, to choose the love. So every moment when we come to a decision, whatever that is in life, it's always to learn to spot when the decision is made from fear, and we need to learn to make it from love. That I also are important.
Do not. I would just say yes, love. I just say do not love. I agree. Love. That means do not harm any other beings and any other creatures, and that's it. Love.
Fantastic. So on this wonderful love note, live love. Become love. Represent love in all its aspects, and shine your love light out into the universe so that it has an effect on other people, on the world itself, on the planet, on the plants, on the animals, and just to continue to shine your light and love out into the world. So I want to thank my special guest, my wonderful co-host Eva Hunt, for joining me again on part 3 of our wonderful journey in love. And our wonderful special guest, Brigitte Reed. I want to thank you so much for enlightening us with your aspects and your light and your knowledge in this universe. So thank you very much for sharing it with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much
for having me. Could I just say...
Yes, Eva. I mean, Brigitte.
Yeah. I was going to say, could I just say, for people who have not met me before, my website is www.italkwithspirits.com. I talk with spirits with an S.
All your information will be in the description below, so they'll be able to contact you on your website. It'll be all on the description below. And
thank you.
Just we do that with all our guests. We put the information on the bottom of the description. So I want to thank you very much for joining us, and love and light. I'm your host, Priscilla Gendron. Thank you very much for joining us again on Psychic Talk, Lovers in the Air series, and we'll catch you again next week. So thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.